Yes, she's got a podcast mic, so we're feeling extra douchey. This is the key to wealth preservation, okay? To protect yourself against politicians, the powers that be, who are acting crazy with our money and doing wild things with policies, with our spending, right? I don't want to get down a deep rabbit hole because we're talking about protecting ourselves. Stick around with me as I unbox this pure gold and talk to you about the benefits of investing in gold as a wealth preservation. I get my gold from AppMex. This is not sponsored, although if y'all see me, all right, I done gave a lot of free promo out here. All right, so why gold? A lot of people think it's this relic, right? They think that it is totally meaningless, which is funny to me because it's like the cash that we use is even worse than gold. If you think gold is some sort of old relic, what is this worthless piece of paper that we have? It only has power because we give it power through our faith. We believe in the dollar. We use it to transact. And because it's widely recognized as something that we can all trust and have value in, that's why it has value. But the paper in and of itself has no utility. What are you gonna do with that piece of paper? You can't even wipe your ass. But gold has plenty of uses. I'm gonna drop some of the uses right here and you can see. So there is actual utility outside of just finding value in it. But obviously everybody in the world finding value to it does add an extra little perk. I'm gonna try to do some ASMR with my new mic. Okay, I can't take myself seriously. I'm not even gonna lie, I kind of enjoy those videos. Gold has a 5,000 year history of never going to zero. All of our fiat currency, okay? All of it has gone to zero. They have all been deemed worthless at some point. It's only a matter of time before all the currencies that we know right now and we currently know and love also become an ancient relic, okay? People back in 200 BC wasn't using the US dollar, all right? These currencies have just been failing and failing over time. So that's number one, right? There's actual utility in gold and the whole world still sees value in it. Whether the average person does or not is not a conversation, right? We're doing what the big dogs are doing, and I'll get into that in a minute. But number two, gold is a physical asset, okay? And it gives you options. Physical assets in general. So we're talking about gold, having your own business, also investing in real estate. You have more flexibility with all those things during a currency crisis. All right, what happened in Venezuela? People who use Venezuela's currency, right? Their currency became worthless. It didn't matter if you had that currency. You couldn't do anything with it. People didn't want it, right? They started transacting in US dollars because they had no faith in it. If you had physical gold, you still had an option. Let's say that happened and you happen to be owning real estate, for example, right? If that currency becomes worthless, well, guess what? I'm no longer accepting that currency. Now I'm only accepting US dollars, right? You have an option. But if you have that Venezuelan dollar and nobody wants it, what are you gonna do with it? This gold still has value. You can take this currency and sell it elsewhere, right? For dollars that actually have value that people still see worth in. If you have your own business, again, you can start accepting whatever currency you want. So you can accept gold, you can accept cryptocurrency. When you have physical assets, you have more options. That's why I like having gold and all the other things I mentioned as well. Number three, the crazy politicians, them, all right? Them people are wild, them wicked, them bad. And America's digital currency is actually supposed to be going live this year, okay? 2023, if you're watching this, our central bank digital currency, or CBDC, is supposed to be going live in July. There's a lot of conspiracy theories around what's gonna happen with our dollar, but the main consensus is that we're gonna phase out of the dollar as we know it now. So it ain't gonna be no dollar signs, ain't no cash money, right? Everything is gonna be digital. There will be no exit strategy. Right now, cash is still good because let's say the banks start, playing in your face and saying, hey, we're gonna give you just 0.01%, or we're gonna charge you to keep your money in the account. They do that now, right? It's not to a large extent, but if you don't have direct deposit or if you don't have this or that, they'll charge you like $15, $5, whatever the case is, right? Right now you have an exit strategy. Right now you can say, well, I'm gonna just hold that money in cash and you have a nice day, right? If we go digital, that is no longer an option. So when you have things like physical gold, you can still transact and exist outside of the currency. So what people are really afraid of is negative interest rates. So we kind of have a situation in the banks where now they're like, okay, we're going to charge you if your money is below a certain amount, right? Or if you don't have direct deposit. But then they're going to say, we're going to just charge you just because, right? It don't matter what you got going on. You can have all the direct deposit in the world, babe. I'm still gonna charge you negative interest. Right now, Chase is damn near negative, right? The real interest rate is absolutely negative because our inflation is 6%, right? Allegedly. So if you have your money in any bank account earning less than 6%, you're absolutely still earning a negative yield. But when we talk about negative yields now, it's gonna be, okay, instead of Ally giving you 3%, they're gonna give you negative 0.1 or negative 1%. So you're guaranteed to lose money on top of inflation, right? That's what people are afraid of next. And if you have no other out, right? No other option in physical assets, then you are going to become victim to whatever interest rate they set in the market. These are things that people are talking about is going to happen. America's dollar already lost virtually all its value, right? And I'll throw a chart here so you can see just how dramatically everything has dropped, right? So it requires so much more dollars to buy the same things. And we're really feeling that now as we see inflation ramping up, but everybody's income staying stuck. This is a hedge. And I don't know what number I'm on at this point, maybe 3, maybe 4, but this is a hedge. So when our dollar is becoming deemed worthless because they keep on printing extra money to fund wars, to fund, I don't even know what, right? They funding anything they feel like funding and they don't tell us much about it, even though it's our money. Digressing. But we don't have that money that they keep on using to fund these things, okay? And similar to getting a cookie, that first cookie might taste delicious. If you have 700 cookies, you're not gonna want the cookie probably ever again. The same logic is with this cash. All this cash coming in, it becomes less and less worthless. But this is not like that, right? Because you can't just say, okay, I'm gonna just go get me an ounce of gold. Like you have to actually work to get this gold. And that's why it provides a hedge. It maintains its price. And I've used an example with Disney, but before, you know, an ounce of gold could have gotten you like a ticket to Disney, right? And Disney was like $35 back in the day. $35 is not gonna get you into no type of Disney. Nobody's Disney World, no Disneyland, no Disney nothing, right? But this ounce of gold can get you a lot more tickets than one, right? Because this is, at least this is only half an ounce. It's not even a full ounce. This is $1,000. I think I paid $11.30 for it exactly, right? And I can buy endless amounts of tickets to Disney, right? So this protected my purchasing power. The denomination and the way I buy, it just kind of depends on how much money I got at the time. I don't buy anything larger than an ounce. I don't really plan on selling this, honestly. If I'm selling it, it's going to be to convert into another physical asset. I don't really want to convert this for some more worthless US dollars, right? Like that was the opposite. I'm putting my US dollar into this so I can preserve my wealth. So if I do ever exchange my gold or my silver, because I have plenty of each, I would convert that into physical assets like real estate. So I want to make clear that this is not an investment. A lot of people were asking me on TikTok, which if you're not on my TikTok, why not? I'm on there all the time, so definitely keep on getting your financial news in long form and short form. But people were asking me, oh, how will you sell it after the recession? I don't plan on selling it after the recession. This is my wealth preserver. There are 3 money pillars. There's wealth preservation, there's speculation, and there's investments. I talk about that in depth in my course, so if you want to check that out, please feel free to do so because I go in depth about investment and asset classes and all of that. But this is my wealth preservation, and there's plenty of other ones as well. This is not for me to make a gain on or try to get some money. Like this is not me speculating. This is not me looking for a return. This is me just saying, hey, I have $1,000 right now. In 10 years, I want to have whatever's equivalent to $1,000 in 10 years. If I have $1,000 now in my bank account, it's not going to buy me the same stuff in 10 years, right? So this is me planning for future me to insulate and protect my finances. And I'll use it when and if I need it, or I'll give it to my kid because I got a kid. Intangible assets leave you naked. If a company fails and their stock goes down, that's it for you, right? But if the housing market fails and your home is now like 75% less worth of value, you can still rent it out for money, right? You still have a way to extract value out of it, even if the market says, hey, right now it's not worth what you paid for it. So we're looking for a mix of assets. When you have intangibles, you run the risk of things becoming worthless and you not having no other option. Because if you have a stock, while you do quote unquote own the company, you more likely than not don't have enough ownership to really dictate the direction of the company. Now, people were also asking me about gold IRAs. If you're looking for an investment front, yes, you can definitely do that. But I can't go and put this in my gold IRA, right? There's only specific amounts of gold or specific types of gold that you can actually have in an IRA, and you have to do that through a specific and certain IRA, gold IRAs that actually offer the gold that you can invest in within your IRA. The IRAs have to be self-directed if you want to put the gold in there. And you are not able to take custody of it if it's in there. So I'm just, you know, a little wary of that, honestly. What is the difference between physical gold and the gold stock? The gold stock is subject to all the things that the intangible assets are subject to, right? That stock dropping in value, you're not really having any exit strategy. Typically, you're not really able to claim ownership of the gold in that stock. I mean, there's like, I forgot what the number was, but it was insane. Like, even if I say 20 to 1, like, let's just say 20 to 1, it's definitely worse than that. But it's like, when you're buying stock, it's like 20 persons owning that same 1 ounce of gold, right? So the chances of you actually being able to claim that is slim to none. That's why the physical gold is so much more expensive. Like, you might see the spot price say, you know, $1,900. When you go and buy it, it's like 8% more than that, because you're taking possession there. You're gonna have to pay for that, babe. And this is probably the very most asked question that I was asked, or just statements people make around gold in general. And it's like, oh, it's worthless. Like, what if it goes to zero? Okay. First and foremost, it hasn't gone to zero ever in its 5,000 year history. The US dollar is closer to zero than gold is. All right. And then let me ask you a question. Would you perform 2 weeks of work and expect no money? Hell no. I hope not. And if that's you, give me a call, because I could use your help. Most people work and expect money. The gold don't come out the earth like this, okay? You gotta go pull it out. You gotta go process it, polish it. They have to, you know, I guess they don't have to do this, but they do put this little eagle in there, little Liberty Lady on there, right? All of those things require physical labor from people who are going to demand payment for that labor. So as long as people are still having to pull gold out of the universe, right, and extract it and process it, and there's people working for that, I don't see how this could go to zero. Because if I did all the work to get this up out of here, I'm going to charge you. And that's what gives me the confidence to invest in gold very routinely.